So I've already got my sunset painted. You can see my brush is still dirty. At this point, if you have a clean brush and you wanted to trade brushes, you could. In school, I normally don't trade the brushes, and I don't for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to get these brushes wet and then work with my acrylic paint. It can weaken out the paint. And two, I actually kind of like this dirt in the brush coming into the waves because I know if I were to go out to Lake Michigan and watch the sunset, I'm going to see some of those colors reflected in the waves. So I'm going to leave this dirtiness on my brush, but I am going to load up my brush with blues on one side. So there's my blue on the one side, and with purple on the other side for way back at the horizon line. Okay. Now you want to be a little bit more careful than me. I just spilled some paint. That's okay. As I paint, then I'm going to paint my waves. So I'm going to come up to the top of a wave with a line coming out. At any point, if you need more paint, reload your brush. And then I'm going to come back with a letter C. And I'm going to do it again. Up for a wave, and then back for a letter C. If I have anywhere where I can see the horizon line between the sky and the water, then I'm going to just take some blue paint and I'm going to fill in that horizon line so that we get blue all the way out there. After that, I'm going to do that blue-purple combo again, and I'm just going to paint down the wave a little bit. What this is going to do is it's going to fill in this first blue-purple wave set. Now, my next wave set, I want to be a new set of colors. So this time, instead of blue-purple, I'm going to go either blue-green, so there's my brush loaded half blue, half green, or I'm going to go blue-white, okay? And I'm going to do just like I did before, where I'm going to take my blue-green setup, and I'm going to give myself some waves running across the paper. And yes, I know there's white chunks in there. That's okay with me, because in those white chunks, I'm going to come back and I'm going to fill in just a minute. But I'm going to take my blue-green combo and I'm going to fill in this layer of waves with my blue-green combo. Okay, I might take a little bit more blue-purple combo and finish off one last layer of wave all the way to the bottom of my page down here. And then I think I'm going to do a little bit of a blue-white combo in this in-between just to get a little bit more variation. I now have this very messy, because it's acrylic, very shiny set of waves running across my page. I love these waves, but they need one last thing. They need that white frothiness. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to dip it into my white paint really heavy. And you can see I've loaded this brush this time, way more white paint than I have been using with any other color in the past. And I'm just going to take this brush and I'm essentially stabbing it up, down, up, down, up, down on my paper to create some of that beautiful white frothiness at the top of the wave. This is that wave that's about to crash. And I can do some of that frostiness on these lower waves too, but I for sure want to do it on these upper waves so I get that sense of this kind of big crashing wave. Anytime it gets to be too mixed together and it starts to turn light blue, it's time to dip back into your white and get a little bit more fresh white frothiness on there again. And you're just going to add that froth into those waves, kind of stabbing it down into the paper so we get that effect of big cascading crashing waves. So some really different techniques. With this harder bristled brush, we were able to do this double dipping technique, which gives us all these beautiful striations and colors. We were also able, with this bigger, thicker brush, to go ahead and do this stabbing technique. These are techniques I wouldn't do with my normal watercolor brush, but that I really like with my easel brush. In the next video, we're going to add in some boats, but we want to let this dry for a little bit first. So you may need to take a break from art and come back to adding boats in a few minutes when your painting is a little bit drier.